Here's a quick disclaimer. The views, statements, and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers. The statements are not intended to be product claims or medical advice. Hi, Diana Fryc here. I'm the host of the Gooder podcast, where I get to talk with the powerhouse women in the food, beverage, and wellness categories about the business of consumer packaged goods, branding, and leadership. This episode is brought to you by Retail Voodoo. Retail Voodoo is a brand development firm providing strategic brand and design services for companies in the food, wellness, and beverage categories. Our clients include Starbucks, Derma E, Kind, REI, PepsiCo, High-Key, and many other market leaders. So, if your goal is to crush your competition by driving growth and disrupting the marketplace with new and innovative ideas, give us a call and let's talk. Or you can find out more at retail-voodoo.com. I'm very excited to chat with my guest today, Beatrice Dixon, who is the CEO, co-founder, and Chief Innovation Officer of the Honeypot Company, the vulva and vaginal wellness brand made by humans with vaginas for humans with vaginas. Before founding the Honeypot Company, Bee worked as a pharmacy technician and employee at Whole Foods, where her experiences helped her realize her position within the intersection of science and wellness, where the Honeypot Company sits today. Since founding the Honeypot Company, Bee has been recognized by Goldman Sachs as one of the 100 most intriguing entrepreneurs of 2021 at its Builders and Innovators Summit, Forbes' top 100 female founders, and one of Inc. magazine's top 100 entrepreneurs. Easier said. The Honeypot Company has won a Cosmetic Executive Women's Beauty Creator Award in 21 and 22, an Essence Best in Black Beauty Award, and that goes on and on and on, but we really want to hear from Bee today. So,
thank you.
Miss Bee, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing well. How are
Good.
you?
I'm good. Are you in Georgia today, or are you out and about?
I am in Georgia today. Yes.
Okay. Now, I want to say the first time I heard of the Honeypot, it was a Natural Products Expo. You guys were in, I might have been your first Natural Products West, a 10 by 10 booth and a perimeter wall way out in the corner somewhere. And I remember running across your booth and just being fascinated by what you were doing. And the funnest part was running into friends and colleagues and saying, "Did you see the Honeypot?" And them saying, "Yeah, I did. That's super cool." And since then, you guys are just ginormous. So it's super exciting to talk with you today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited to talk to you too.
Thank you. Well, for those of us that don't know, for those of our listenership that aren't familiar with the Honeypot, why don't you tell us what the Honeypot is and what the brand stands for?
Yeah, for sure. The Honeypot is a personal care vulva wellness brand that is heavily based in really beautiful, efficacious, plant-derived, herb-powered ingredients. We are extremely scientifically backed, so all of our products have been clinically tested. Well, I should say 98% of our products have been clinically tested. Everything, we've done over 130 human trials. We have, we're sold in mass market retail across mass market, drug, grocery. We are, so radically obsessed with our customers and the humans that we serve. I think, we always joke and say that education is actually our first product, but it's actually true. That's the thing that we give away for free because we feel that, in the business of vaginal health, it's really important that there's a democratization, right?
Agreed.
It's really important that there's a lot of responsibility. It's really important that there's a lot of authenticity. It's really important that humans see themselves in what we do because we're serving such a beautiful part of the body, And so, that's what we do. And I'm really, really grateful to be doing this work. This is my life's work. Um, and yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah. Well, so where did the idea come from?
So I had bacterial vaginosis for almost a year,
Mm,
and it would literally go away and come back every single month. Everything that I tried, nothing worked.
mhm.
And it was a very interesting time. It was hard. I went to the doctor, I took the medicine, I, went on Google, like, and that is not the place that you need to go when things are not going well with your vagina, right? Or any part of your
Or
body for
any
that. Exactly.
WebMD. Yep. Mhm. Mm,
Exactly. And so, but nothing was working. And my grandmother came to me one morning. It wasn't a dream. It was, I've said a dream in past, but
mhm,
I think I've finally gotten to the place where I can publicly say it wasn't a dream. Like, me
mm,
and her were there together. My grandmother transitioned when my
mhm,
mother was a child. And she told me she had been walking with me and she had been seeing me struggle, and that she knew what to do to fix it, you know? And she handed me a piece of paper and it had a list of ingredients on it. She told me to memorize those ingredients, and I did. I woke up saying them, and in the dream, or in the vision, or wherever we were,
mhm.
I remember her telling me, "Wake up," and so I woke up and then I wrote it down. I went to work. I worked at Whole Foods. I bought all the stuff. I made myself a formula, which is now what our normal vulva wash is. And it worked, you know,
Wow.
and, um, and that is literally the beginning of how all
Beginning.
of this began.
Yeah. And so would you say, I have this, my question here is, why was it important for you to develop this brand? I mean, that's a big question, right? Because many of us just kind of sit around waiting for a solution, but you actually took the steps to make it. Was that because of the conversation that you had? It was with your grandmother?
I, for me, I felt like if what my grandmother gave me could work for me, I felt
Mhm.
like it could work for other people. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
I do.
And why me? I don't know. I never really thought of why me, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
I've just always been like, why not me?
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Um, because this company was kind of gifted to me. You know what I mean? And I just don't take that lightly.
Mhm.
And I think that it was what I was supposed to do,
Mhm.
which is why, that when I say why I feel like everything has worked out, I
Mhm.
don't mean to say that as if there hasn't been things that haven't worked out, and like this hasn't been extremely, ridiculously, absurdly hard, because it has been. It is every single day, Um, but I just feel like this was what is in alignment for me, and why not?
Yeah. I love that. I love that you felt like it was your responsibility, your maybe not responsibility, but your, I'm not sure what the word is. Responsibility is going to be the one for you to bring it and help women.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways I did feel responsible, not for humanity or anything, because
Mhm.
that's not my responsibility, but I felt responsible to take what my grandmother had given me and to put it out into the world, hoping that other people would have the same experience that I had.
Mhm.
And now today we make over 80 products,
Mhm.
for the vulva vagina.
Mhm.
Um, I say that because, vagina's inside the body, vulva's outside the body. Um, and yeah, I think that there is a responsibility there. And I think that that is a very important thing. I think that anytime somebody's making a product that a human is going to consume inside their body, or put on their skin, or, put inside their body, right? Like, those things shouldn't be taken lightly. Those things should be done with care and love and humility and authenticity. And, we should understand the science behind it. We should understand the formulations. So there definitely is a responsibility to it for sure.
Yeah. Well, on that note of responsibility, I know you and the Honeypot have an important initiative that you've been focused on kind of year after year, leveraging your network and developing a brand and product platform centered around self-care, this Reclaiming Wellness, a campaign to celebrate Black History Month every year, right?
Well, it started off as a campaign designed around Black History Month, but what it has turned into, because every day is Black history, right? Like Black history isn't just in a month. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just like
I do.
all history, because Black history is just history.
Correct.
We put Black on it because we put Black within the concept of it because Black history hasn't been a history that has been made important to share, and so, but I think it's very important that we understand that Black history is just history like everything else is history, right?
Correct.
And, and so what we did is we actually, our Reclaiming Wellness programming is always on. It doesn't go off,
Great.
I think when we started it, it was with the intention to make sure that we were telling the stories of those humans that have been underserved, that have created wellness for other people, right? That have held the secrets, right? And that have been the caretakers, and and just making sure that once again that information is democratized and that we're following our own kind of advice, right? And that we're actually taking the time to take care of ourselves and be in our bodies and understand what's happening with us, and taking the time to say that you're not okay if you're not okay, right? And like not feeling like you need to be strong all the fucking time. And like, because there is strength in not needing to be strong, and not, when there's parts of the community that are underserved, that creates a level of stress and cortisol and hormone imbalances. And that's why diseases and infections and things and certain things like that, humans of certain races or ethnicities happen to deal with those issues more commonly. But part of the reason for that is because they are the most underserved, right? And so our Reclaiming Wellness programming, I hate to even call it programming, our Reclaiming Wellness, excuse me, I'm getting over a sinus infection.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all right. I won't even call it anything else. Reclaiming wellness is just a thing that's really important, not only for the Black community, but for all communities. Right?
Agreed.
And, and I think that it's important, even though a lot of the things we talk about, people already know, but I think that it's really important that there is a reminder, right? To just take a step back and understand that like self-care isn't just about taking a fucking bubble bath or going to the spa and getting a massage.
Getting your nails done. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like all those things are a version of self-care, but the truest version of self-care is like going to bed.
Exactly. Thank you. Yes. Thank you for that.
Yes. Drink some water. You know what I mean? Maybe eat a vegetable. You know what I'm saying? Like sit down and be quiet. Mind your business. Take care of you. You know what I mean?
I do.
And we live in a society where everybody knows everything about everybody else. Social media, nothing is hidden anymore. Everybody knows everything, and everybody wants to know everybody's business. But that can create a space where you're always out and you're not in. And I think that that's part of why, me and you, Diana, we grew up in a time where we had to go outside and play when we were kids.
Yes.
Right? Like our moms
that
were
was
like,
it.
Like there was video games, but it was like
barely
the Atari and the
Coleco.
a
Kalia.
Sega. You know
Sega.
what I'm
I
you know what I
do.
mean?
I do.
And and we had to go outside and play. And then you came back in the house when the street lights went down,
Hmm.
and and you ate, and you took a bath, and you went your ass to bed,
That's right.
right?
That's
And
right.
I just think that we're just in a different time
Yes.
where children are on TikTok or whatever the
Totally.
newest thing is, and and people are dealing with depression more,
Hmm.
anxiety more, what do they call it, imposter syndrome more,
Hmm.
all these things, that some of this shit I feel like is completely made up,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But part of that is because we are not just being like putting this shit down and saying, you know what, I'm not gonna check my email after 7,
Yeah.
or
Oh, that's
you know,
smart.
or you know what, I can only be on Instagram for a total of an hour a day. That doesn't mean a
Hmm.
full hour, but maybe 20 minutes here or there. Or maybe I don't, maybe I can only be on it for a couple times a week. I feel like, you know, we're looking at other people's lives, comparing ourselves to other
Yeah.
people, and these things aren't natural. These things, we aren't made to be consuming all this 5G and EMF and all this shit. Like, we're not made for this,
No.
And so, I think with our reclaiming wellness conversations and stance that we have as a brand, it's to help us remember
Yeah.
we're human beings. We're organic to this planet.
Yeah.
We got to shut it down sometimes, and
Exactly.
just like be here and chill out.
Yeah. I do. And you had earlier this year, you were doing some sort of blitz on this reclaiming wellness with HBCUs.
Mhm.
And I know you were tearing it up. You were not practicing any self-care. Maybe you were, but I want to say, I'm wondering, how did that turn out for you? Did you get the response, or did you get
Oh, it
the
was beautiful.
feedback that you were hoping to from that
You,
effort?
you know what's funny is that I didn't have any expectation. Now the
Hmm.
team did, I'm sure.
Sure.
For me, if 10 people showed up, that was fantastic.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, for me, if I I think we all had an expectation and we wanted it to do well. Obviously, we invested a lot of money into it,
Hmm.
and time and travel and team and all the things, but like, it turned out so good.
Did it?
Like, every single we went to 4 different colleges. Um Maybe 2 of them ended kind of sort of on time, and the other 2 went way overtime. And people were just really happy to be having the conversations that we were having. And people felt comfortable to share what they were going through. Sorry.
It's okay.
People felt comfortable to share what they were going through and where they were, and to ask any question that they had on their mind and their heart, you know? And there was this level of humility and trust in the room that was really beautiful.
Hmm.
And so it came out wonderful. It was a great turnout. And I was just grateful to be there and to witness it, and to, help to facilitate the conversation,
Hmm.
and to be the auntie in the room that can help these babies understand that they just need to, like, don't be so hard on yourself. Everything's gonna be okay, you know. And sometimes just hearing that can just make you feel better, even if it's not gonna be okay right now. At some point it will be.
Yeah.
So it was really dope. It was really, really, really dope.
That's great. Did you see? I'm always curious, and an effort like this that's targeted towards women. Were there any men there that were there in support of either their family members or just their friends?
Look, I don't think that this was just targeted towards humans with vaginas. I think that this was targeted to just humans. And
Okay.
the first one that we did in Atlanta, there was kids there. There was humans with vaginas, humans without vaginas. Like, it was really dope. I mean, it
It's
was a packed
awesome.
room. You know what I mean? I think that all of this information that we have and that we share, it doesn't matter what your body part is, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I do events, and then if men will ask me a question, they'll be like, you know, I don't really know much about vaginas, but and it's like you do know about vaginas.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know what a vagina is. You may
Mm-hmm.
not know what the ecosystem and what the pH balance and all the things is, but like we need to stop saying that. It's important that we know about bodies and that we know about like the changes that happen and that we just know. Like to me it's just really important. I think this kind of information is information that everybody should know and be aware of and not
Mm-hmm.
be afraid to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I think a lot of times we think of it as understanding things when we have to be, um, when we're kind of in motion with whatever that thing is, right? So if we're talking about penises and vaginas,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's not all about sex,
Right.
right? Like there's so many things about it that are just very, very simple things, and that everybody should just know about and should just be common knowledge. And we shouldn't be afraid to talk about it. And,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's diseases or infections or whatever the situation is, just just wellness in general. I think that these are things that excuse me. I think that these are things that should just be common information.
Mm-hmm.
And we shouldn't be afraid to share, you know. And so, yeah, everybody was in attendance, and it was amazing.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of body parts, you guys have come out with a new line of products, ironically, right? Just recently in the past month?
Yeah, the past couple months. Yep.
Yeah, and can you care to share like what this line extension is and why you chose to move in this direction versus maybe a couple of others?
Yeah, I mean, we actually this was actually a very simple innovation year for us, just because the past couple of years we really had our head down and really have been in our business and getting our um, a lot of our standard operating procedures and all those kinds of things. We play in a lot of regulatory
Sure.
systems and things like that. And so, I think this year, the past couple of years, we've really taken the time to really think about how we want to come to market with new products. And so this year we launched our Amber Sand. I actually have some wipes here. Our Amber Sandalwood line.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a unisex line.
Mm.
And it's amber sandalwood. It has a muskiness to it. This is like my favorite scent blend that we make. It's not scent like fragrance, but it is essential oil
Mm-hmm.
forward. Um, and these come in a wash, wipe, and a spray. Amazing, incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also just launched beautiful sexual wellness line. We launched a vaginal stimulating serum that actually just helps with the stimulation, the clitoral stimulation
Mm-hmm.
when in intercourse, whether it's self play, whether you're playing with the
Mm-hmm.
same sex, whether you're playing with the opposite sex,
Mm-hmm.
it's a really really beautiful product. And then we have a a silicone hybrid lube,
Mm-hmm.
um, which can be used with vaginal stimulation. But part of the reason that we made it is for humans who like to have anal stimulation,
Mm-hmm.
because the other lubricants that we make are actually water based, which are wonderful. But when you're having an anal when you're having anal stimulation, you need more of a slip. You know what I mean? And so, is it okay for me to say anal on here,
Of
Diana?
course it is,
I
girl.
love it.
Yes,
Okay,
this is
great. As I say it for the fifth time. Hilarious.
I am okay.
I love it. I love it. And then my favorite of the three, I mean, all of them are incredible, is our intimacy wipes. And so these are like a really great size. They smell like heaven.
Do they?
God, they smell so good. and they're like a little more juicy, like a little more, they're a little bit more liquid,
Than what's out
a
on the
little more
market typical.
saturation,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, than what our typical, like than what these wipes are. These
I
wipes
see.
are really have a really great saturation to them.
Mm-hmm.
But these other ones, and the size of it is really good because it really helps you to be able to properly get yourself cleaned up pre
Mm-hmm.
and post sex, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you're a human with a vagina, it's very important to clean up a bit before you get busy, before
Mm-hmm.
you make love to whomever it is, whether even if it's just you, because especially if you've been out all day, right? You've been moving around, you've been walking, maybe you went out, maybe whatever. It's really important to kind of just give yourself a quick little wipe in the front
Mm-hmm.
and then a wipe in the back. Just so that you just feel good. So you've kind of gotten you've cleaned up a layer of
Mm-hmm.
bacteria. So when you
Mm-hmm.
do get busy with however you're doing it, that isn't introduced inside of your vagina.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yep.
And for after, make sure you go pee pee first,
Mm-hmm.
and then and then wipe yourself down. And so those intimacy wipes are really meant
Mm-hmm.
to help people just in their vaginal and vulval
Mm-hmm.
wellness routine, and
Mm-hmm.
give people tools that they can use that makes their life easier, because you may
Mm-hmm.
not have time to jump in the shower. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
I
like the
do.
moment might be there, and the other thing is if whether it's fingers or a penis or whatever, guess what? Everybody should clean up.
Mm-hmm.
Hands should be clean. Mouth should be rinsed out, even if it's just with some water. You know, if you can brush your teeth, great. If you can't, cool too, right? But just
Mm-hmm.
having a ritual around you know around the time of when you want to be physical or sexy or
Yeah.
intimate, whether that's
Yeah.
with yourself, the opposite sex, the same sex, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Having a ritual around your vulva and your vaginal wellness is really, really important, especially if you're a human
Mm-hmm.
who is susceptible to having, bacterial vaginosis, yeast
Yes.
infections, UTIs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to say we because I'm in the same boat. I have a sensitive coochie too, especially with the way I'm busy and
Mm-hmm.
my, moving around and hormone health and turning 40. All these things are a true thing, and and your body just changes,
Yes. Yes.
and
It does.
it does, and you just have to take care of yourself. Drink your water,
Yeah.
you know. Like I said, eat some vegetables. Make sure you throw some garlic in your food, fresh garlic every now and again. Keep that candida down. Don't eat
Mm-hmm.
a lot of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So
but
much
yeah,
that's reclaiming wellness just starts to stretch and get wider and wider when
you
you
see
start
what I'm
thinking that.
saying though?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's all of these things,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and this is just a human thing. This don't have anything to do with the color of your skin,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
This is these reclaiming wellness is just a thing that is centered around everything. It's global, you know?
Yes.
So
Yes. Well, and we can say, as you mentioned earlier, this is for everybody, but I think the emphasis in working with our our friends of color, our customers of color, there needs
mhm,
to be an emphasis there because a lot of that information has been withheld for a long period of time.
it has.
There's a benefit of having social media and the internet now because at least that information can be disseminated quickly, but
Agreed.
so can the BS as well. So
Exactly.
we need more B Dixons out there that are
Oh,
speaking
thank
the
you.
truth and getting to those audiences that are open to hearing it. And I appreciate the fact that it almost is as this the honeypot. You're using honeypot as your platform to get information out. It's really not about selling the product. That's what it feels
It
like to
isn't,
me.
sister. It isn't.
Yeah,
It really isn't. Listen, if I can be completely honest with you, choose
of
Honey Pot
course.
or don't, right?
Yeah,
But understand why you're choosing whatever the hell it is that you're choosing.
exactly.
That is the most important thing.
Hmm.
Why do you want to choose it? What does it do? How does it work? What's it
Mm-hmm.
made of? What's
Mm-hmm.
in it? Right? Understand. Education is the real wealth, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Health and wisdom, that these are the things that are the real wealth, right? Because when you're healthy, when you're well, that makes for all, when the things that humans made up, money, cars, clothes, airplanes, all the things, like that makes for you being able to really enjoy that shit. But
Mm-hmm.
understand that those are just kind of on the outskirts of what real health and wellness and happiness and love and joy is. That love, joy, happiness, those are all things that are actually free. And I don't mean to say that as if people aren't really, as if some people don't have to work for that and earn
Right.
it,
Right.
because it is not easy to live a life of joy and gratitude. You have to work for that shit,
Yes.
you know? And trust me, nobody knows that the way that I do. That's why I got words and lines and dots and
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of geometry on my face and my
Mm-hmm.
body. And
Mm-hmm.
all these tattoos aren't just for me to have tattoos. These tattoos are there to be a reminder, so I'm constantly conditioning myself.
Yes.
But as it relates to what you said, I believe that anybody that is out in the public that is making information and selling products and creating content, in a lot of ways, what the work that I do does condition people. It
Mm.
does.
Yes.
The work that you do conditions people. The work that anybody does that serves humans is fucking conditioning them.
Exactly.
So there has to be a responsibility in that.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a public platform, I am a believer, and it's none of my business what anybody else does. I'm only worried about what I do, but me as a human, I really monitor the things that I listen to, the music I listen to, the water I drink, the food I eat when I can, the people that I hang around. I don't really listen to a lot of podcasts, and I try not to be connected to Bluetooth all the time. I'm not really a social media girl. It's just not natural for me.
Mm-hmm.
I really, because I'm aware that all of these things, you drive by a billboard, you see a number, you see something on a billboard, and you may not even be thinking about it. I don't even eat pizza. Why do I want pizza? Right?
Exactly.
All of these things are, I mean, I may eat it once or twice a year, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? But like,
Mm-hmm.
all of these things are conditioning us.
Yeah.
Everything is. That retail voodoo sign. I'm gonna be thinking about that retail voodoo sign later on tonight. Why? Because it's red and it's bold and it's doing exactly what it's meant to do,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, Honeypot is a platform to provide positive information that actually is going to serve people and help their life to be better. And guess what? We just so happen to make absolutely beautiful body care and vaginal care products,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have to do that in the same way that we have intentionality around what we say and how we move and how we talk and how we talk, meet our customers. And for some people, the way I talk, the way I am, the way I present might be too much. They may be like, that bitch is crazy, or she's too esoteric, or whatever. But you guess what? I have to be responsible with my words. I have to be responsible with my intentions. I have to, I remember back in the day, if I was having a bad day, I didn't touch Honeypot. When I used to make it,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't make anything. If I was having a bad day or in a bad mood, because I felt like that energy, I would have put that frequency into the products,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody was going to use that on their vulva.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Water And plants and herbs, they take on energy. They do,
Mm-hmm.
because
They do.
everything has energy, right?
It does.
So I can't do that now. It's impossible. I don't make anything
Mm-hmm.
in my kitchen anymore unless it's for me and my family
Mm-hmm.
and my partner, right? I don't make anything anymore. I
Mm-hmm.
can't. Everything that we make is made with our manufacturers, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now my version of what used to be, if I was having a bad day, I can't touch it. Now my version of that is making sure that the information that I'm putting out of my mouth, or that my brand is putting out into the world, actually improves people's lives, because there's too much shit around here that's not improving people's lives and
Mm-hmm.
that's not being responsible, right? And I just believe that, you know, um I just know that what we do is important, and what we make is important, and the
Mm-hmm.
things that we say are important, because guess what? Words mean things,
They do.
right?
They do.
And all of us are learning and growing and watching and hearing, whether we are conscious of it or not. We're always a million things around me are happening right now.
Yes.
The only thing that I think that I'm conscious of is this conversation, but I'm not. The people are here cleaning up the office. There's a vacuum going. There's plants all around. My phone was ringing. All You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
And so, you know, us being conscious and aware of that is just extremely important. And I think that as brands doing this work, especially companies that are putting beautiful products into the world, the things that we say and the things that we do are just as important as the things that we make.
Yes.
You know why? Because every single thing communicates. Everything does.
Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
and and I, I truly believe that.
It's a real authenticity to your brand, this self-awareness that you have about yourself. And I don't think you can be a legitimate leader out in the world talking to these young men and women out at the college level, these Gen Zers and the young millennials, and not have this awareness about yourself. I think as a business owner, a founder, I know that you're kind of not so eyeball deep in the business as you were before, but
Mhm.
you are still a major part of the business. And most of us, right? We get locked into the like, oh, what's the PNL? What's the this, that, and the other thing? And we give only this much time to the authenticity of the work that needs to be done at the level that you're talking about. So I think it's pretty amazing that you are so self-aware in this way. And there's a lot of other entrepreneurs out there that could stand to hear this and stand to go, okay, this, not everybody can be a bee, right? But everybody can be a version, their version of what you're doing. And I think that's where things in the world start to get a lot better, particularly in business, which is where I think most there needs to be a lot of cleanup in business as people are killing themselves. Entrepreneurs, I meet so many people that are just beating themselves up trying to do everything, and I don't think you need to.
I don't think you need to either. I'm not a person who knows how to. I don't know how to do everything. I mean, when we first started this, I was on my phone because I do everything on my phone. I don't use computers
Hmm.
anymore. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Um, I don't know how to work Excel. Right? Like
I don't
I
know how many
barely
people do either.
I barely know how to do a DocuSign. I don't know how to load a document into that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to check an email.
Hmm.
You know, a lot of acronyms I
Hmm.
don't know,
Hmm.
right? Like, and I'm not gonna act like I do,
Hmm.
and I'm not even gonna act like sometimes I'm even interested in knowing,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I think that It's really important. Thank you for saying that, by the way. I'm grateful that you would share that with me. I believe people should do what they want to be and be the kind of people that they want to be. Um, I am definitely the esoteric part of my business. My team is definitely, I think all of us have a little bit of that in us, but, um, but they're really here to be the data and to be
Yeah.
the ones that really dig down and understand the way that you should understand in business terms. I live more in my gut. I live more in what's real or what I perceive to be real
Mm-hmm.
anyway. And and I want to be okay. I want to be good to people, and I want people to have a great experience with what we do, whether they use our products or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Um, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, our time is getting a little short here. I have two questions for you. One is, what kind of advice do you give to others that are following in your footsteps? Somebody that wants to have an impact.
I think if you want to have, I can't really give somebody advice on what to do to have impact, because who am I to tell somebody else what they need to be doing?
Okay.
But what I can say is that I believe if you want to have impact, that it needs to come from a real place. It can't be theater. It can't be doing it because you think that that's the right thing to do. Whatever you do, you have to want to do it, and you have to want to do it from a real place. If the word impact is in the conversation, because
Gotcha.
if you're just doing some shit just to say you did it,
Mm-hmm.
that's not impact. If you do something, if you do something that you want to have impact, I believe that it should be done responsibly. I believe that it should be done in the benefit of the humans that you're trying to impact. I believe that it should come from a very beautiful, raw place. And I believe that it should be done in communication with the humans that you're doing it for or with. Not even for, but with. Because impact is it does like this.
Yes.
It's a thing that's in a communication with another thing. And I'm learning and you're learning and we're doing, and what do you need and how can I offer it and what do I need and how can you benefit me? And it's not all about what you can do for somebody. It's what can we do for each other, because humans were put on this planet to actually love one another, to just be human together. Nature knows how to do it beautifully. We try to put control into shit.
Yeah.
And that's where things get fucked up. That's where
Mm-hmm.
things get muddy. We should learn from the trees and the grass and the air and the water and the birds and the bees and you know, and the wind. We should learn from that. We should flow in that. We are all here to just be together, love each other, be good to one another, you know,
Yes.
maybe make a little money. You know what I mean?
I do.
Create the life you want,
Mm-hmm.
or don't make any money. Live on the street. There's some people that want to do that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And for those humans that want to do that, or those humans that don't want that, we should all be here for each other. We should all be good to one another. You see somebody on the street, don't judge them. Ask them if they want some food. If you got a bottle of water in your car that's not open, give them that shit. If you
Mm-hmm.
just went and bought some food for yourself and you can go back and get some food, some more food, give them the food. Don't be like, because at any given moment, that shit could happen to me or you,
Agreed.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that impact has to, there's a level of humility and awareness that we're all here to impact each other, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Agreed. Oh my goodness. Well, beyond that, we're going to wrap things up here. And I just want to reintroduce you, Bea Dixon, who is co-founder, chief innovation officer, and CEO.
At this moment, yes.
Yes, at this moment. Okay. Okay.
I don't know if I want to keep being CEO.
I
I think I just want to be a face and make some products. Like,
I get that. Yes. Okay.
I've been being CEO for 11 years. I want to sit my ass down.
I understand that one. Oh my goodness. Bea, where can people learn more about you and what the Honeypot is up to?
Follow us on IG. The Honeypot Co. is the Honeypot's IG. Follow us on TikTok. Our TikTok is very fun. My Instagram is IamBeaDixon, BeaDixon. We're in Target, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Walmart. Go to our store locator, put in your zip code, and you'll be able to find us. Or, just go to our website, thehoneypot.co, and browse.
And browse. Yeah, yes, browse. All right. Well, thank you, Bea, for your time today. I really, honestly, my absolute honor to have spent time with you. And I really look forward to seeing what you and your team are up to next.
Thank you.
You are welcome. And I'm going to thank all of you listeners for your time today. If you like this episode, please share it with a friend. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you next time on the Gooder Podcast.
Produced by Heartcast Media.